So this is a tunnel that runs underneath the railroad tracks. I stumbled upon this when hiking through the woods, and it leads to from Comsquat, I don't even know the name of the park, to Lakeland Park, and it's pretty cool in here, in the literal and figurative sense. And then we are back on the trail. You know, I see all the graffiti, and when it comes to graffiti on these objects in the woods, you know, if I had my choice, I'd probably choose not to have it, but in some ways I find it interesting. And especially there are some other places, which I'm not going to mention, which are closer to my house in Kings Park, where I see some graffiti that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, artwork, and it's on objects in the woods, man-made objects in the woods, kind of similar to this, but objects that don't serve a purpose anymore, and will probably, in not too distance, be taken down. And it's very beautiful. But then I walk in the woods and I see people are actually painting and putting graffiti on trees and rocks and things like that, and I just can't help but really, really think that that's a travesty. And I understand expressionism, especially me being an expressionist, and I do really think that you know, if you have it inside, you have to let it out some way, or else you just make yourself crazy. But defacing, especially nature, is criminal at best. But you know, people can disagree what this graffiti does bring to these man-made objects. And once again, in this case, I would probably say no, would be better off without it. But sometimes the artwork is just so beautiful that you have to recognize it as artwork. All right, back to the trail. Now this is artwork in and of itself. This is my favorite artwork. You know, not to digress, but one of the things I love the most about walking in the woods is the light show on the ground. You know, especially as the fall comes into play a little bit more, you see all of the flickering all along the grounds. I love going riding down at the Whispering Hooves Ranch, because that it's similar woods like this, mostly scrub pines though, and the way the light dances on the ground is just incredible. And then right over here is the railroad tracks. It's an elevated road, you know, elevated trackway. I think this is the Ronkonkoma line where I am here now. And occasionally when I'm walking here, I walk in this woodland mostly during lunch at work, because it's nearby and it's great. It really helps me create a wonderful work-life balance in work. And so it's great that it's nearby. But it's just beautiful. I just feel very fortunate. And every once in a while I'll come across, very rarely do I come across people, except down at the area, down at Lakeland Park, down there. I'll come across people once in a while. But in here, every once in a while I'll come across like rangers, maybe walking from one park to another or patrolling the area. But they don't look like enforcement people. You know, they don't have that aura about them. They just appear to be good people who are very concerned about the parks. And I think I have to make a special note of that, because these people, they don't get paid anything. I mean, they get paid, but it's not a living wage. And they're required to do so much with so few resources that, you know, you definitely don't go into it because you want to be a millionaire. You know, you go into it because you love nature and you love being out here. And boy, can I sympathize with that. You know, and I'm still getting used to these trails. You know, it is taking a little getting used to, because that it's all new. I mean, I'm Mr. Psych Center, and I know the woods around San Remo and the Psych Center and Sunken Meadow. I literally can walk those things blindfolded. And I have, you know, coming home from Shanahan's, walking through the woods when there's no moon out. I can't see 1 foot in front of me. I can't see my hand out in front of me. But still, I can find my way home. And that's occasionally after a malted beverage. So it is. It's just wonderful out here. And then the green belts. I give money to them almost every year. The only reason why sometimes I just forget. But these trails are maintained by the Greenbelt organization. I'm sure they're not for profit. I'm not sure if they're officially a state agency or where they get all of their funding from. But you see these tags right here. That's from the Greenbelt Trail, the people who maintain it. It runs from Heckscher to Sunken Meadow, as it says on the sign. And I've walked that before. It takes a day, and it's beautiful. And it's amazing how much water is like behind shopping centers and other things you would never see. And here are the marks. This means that the trail is splitting and it's going from one direction to another. And so right down here is the other trail. And you'll see white markers, and then you'll see yellow markers. Yellow markers mean it's not part of the main trail, but it would return to the main trail. And then when you see a red marker, that means that it's leaving the main trail and it doesn't return. The only way to get back is to backtrack your steps. And we're off. So I think it's getting time for me to get back to work. Although it's a beautiful day, I don't like to be late. And so that's about it for now. Happy trails.